What's your name? Where are you from?
Riz the Great, don't trip from Washington D.C. Northwest Uptown all day. That yeah
You talk a little bit about how you started selling merch,
yeah
the Don't Trip merch specifically.
okay. Well, I started selling Don't Trip merch around the pandemic. I actually recorded the song Don't Trip in 2019. It was a song I was sitting on. And then the pandemic kicked off, and I was just like, nah, I gotta drop something. I got this heat I've been sitting on. So I dropped the song. It was a crazy time because it was something for everybody to trip about. And I decided to make face masks that said Don't Trip on the front. And that kind of took off. So I was selling the face masks, and then I started making beanies, and I started making sweaters, and I started making shirts, and then over the years, just kept adding more merch, and here we are now. I have this to look forward to.
So, before the Don't Trip merch, were you in the merch game at all, or like were you selling merch at all?
Yeah, that's a good question. I actually used to sell clothes. When I was young, I started out selling clothes, like painting clothes with fabric paint and selling it at school to get a little bit of extra bread. I've always been in the clothes and in the fashion, so that's how I started out with clothes. And then, I just elevated from that point. I used to go to New York back when there was a Florida Avenue flea market. I used to get clothes from New York and bring it back to DC. That's how I kind of learned the whole wholesale market and industry like that. So yeah, I've been messing with clothes forever.
And what about clothes specifically? How did you like excited as a kid? Like, what made you want to make your own clothes and paint on your clothes and sell clothes?
Yo, that's such a good question. My earliest memory is my uncle actually was moving out of my grandmother's house, and he had like a box of stuff just like outside, and we had to carry the boxes, I believe, in the house because it was going to rain. But he was coming back to pick the boxes up, and a shirt fell out of the box, and the shirt said "Blunt Man" on it, and it was like a blunt. This is my first time seeing with anything that represented weed, and especially in my family. So I was like, "What is this shirt?" And I remember my mother saying, or someone told me that like, "Oh, your uncle made that shirt," and I was like, you can make shirts." And I think that's when the light bulb went off in my head, and I just thought that was so cool. I didn't really care about the weed part. I just thought that was cool. And then when I asked my uncle about it, he just snatched the shirt like, "Boy, give me this dang shirt. You ain't supposed to see that." I think that's really where it all kind of kicked off from for me. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to him.
Shout out to Uncle. So, I think like nowadays it's more trendy and cool for like kids to like make their own like clothing brand and their own merch and their own swag, right? And back in the day, even like 10, 20 years ago, it was kind of difficult because of like accessibility and just like visibility, right?
Mm.
So, do you see that trend? Would you agree? Like nowadays, more kids are making their own brand and their own thing.
Yeah, I think this wave of like social media presence and like just the internet alone can boost your brand and your business. But your hustle and your drive got to kind of match that same energy. You know what I mean? Because you might actually make some fire clothes and post it online and it take off. But like if you don't have the energy to keep up with that, then it's just gonna fall to the wayside. You know what I mean? Or you might just get overwhelmed. So I say stick to it and like push forward. You know what I mean? Because you can change your whole life. You know what I'm saying? Overnight with these clothes, if you really do the research and study like how this all kind of comes together for real, for real.
All right. So besides the designing and creative aspect of the clothes,
Yeah.
you was kind of speaking about the other aspects. So what are other things, maybe like three things you recommend somebody when they start a clothing brand besides designing and getting the material and things like that?
One, do your research. Learn the comprehension of like fabrics, learn the comprehension of sourcing, and don't be scared to like travel outside of your area or your region to discover more about clothes. So, for me, I knew what kind of limitations was in my backyard here in the DMV, so I wasn't scared to go to New York or go to New Jersey or go other places to source for different clothes and different fabrics because I wanted my quality to match my brand. It wasn't about the quantity, it was more about the quality. I wanted the clothes to last. I want people to wear my stuff and be like, dang, don't trip. I like this. You feel me? So, be conscious about that, but be a student, learn, you know what I'm saying? So that way you can teach the next person how to get it going.
So, what are some of the unique like types of people that have walked through these doors that have gotten like pieces made? I know the other day you had like a kid who's a dancer, right? So like
Yeah.
people like him, can you name some like these unique people that come through and get their stuff done?
Yeah, for sure. Shout out Phil. Yeah, he a young dude. He be dancing, he be teaching and all that stuff. So shout out to him. All types of walks of life come here. High schools, people that own their own companies, people that give back to the community. Some managers for artists. We worked on a jacket for the Chris Brown Bowl, Breezy Bowl. I want to be saying it correct. Um, and we work on a lot of different people's stuff, you know what I mean, for sure. So I want to say everybody. I don't want to just put a spotlight on anyone in particular, but the door is always open. When you walk through the door, I want you to feel opportunity. So, ain't no telling who gonna come through the door for sure.
Is it a project, let's say in 2026, that you want to kind of manifest that you'd be excited to work on, like either a brand or business or entity?
Honestly, I said it when I got the keys to this place, and this is going to sound, I don't know if it sounds far fetched, but I'm the type of person, I say it enough, it's going to end up happening. But I want to do something that's going to help feed 5,000 families, that's going to feed another 5,000 families. How I'm going to do it, how we going to do it, we just got to work together and make it happen. But I don't know how it's going to happen, but that's what I want to happen. That's what I would love to happen. Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't know if that was the answer you're looking for, but that's what I'm
Nah,
going to
so
give.
do something that was okay. I see what you mean with that. Your personal brand is kind of really colorful, and it's like also you don't really stick to like one thing.
Mm.
And can you speak a little bit about that? Like, why is that your choice for your brand?
Uh, so don't trip. Like again, it was a song, and I think it's like my mantra. Like it's like how like that is embedded in me. Like I'm real kind of cool, laid back kind of guy. You know what I mean? And in the midst of the chaos that be around, sometimes I still keep this like chill atmosphere, you know what I'm saying? So it's always don't trip. So a lot of my pieces can look a little bit they abstract. I love abstract art. So some of the pieces might be a little loud, some of the pieces might be like in your face, some of those pieces might be very colorful. I think that just absorbs and adapts to the world that's around me. So a lot of stuff kind of be a little chaotic, but I still got to remind myself, don't trip, man. I try to remind others not to trip about stuff that they can't control either.
Do you think anybody can make merch or make their clothing or make a brand?
I think you could try. Yeah, I think you should try for sure. I can't say everybody can make clothes and make a brand. It's deeper than that, I think it's about your personality. I think it's about bringing some level to the surface of like what you can potentially give back, right? But I think anybody can have the idea and bring it to life. So I say give it a try. What else you got to lose? You know what I'm saying? Anybody gonna say is yes or no. Your stuff might pop off if you just jump outside the box and give yourself an opportunity. Take a chance on you. That's
And
my answer to that.
how much money do you think someone should start with when they're trying to start their own clothing brand? Roughly.
Mm. I think it's I don't know if it's a cap or like a particular number or budget that I could say that you should have when you first start. I say get it out the mud the best way you can. If you got $50 and you come to DMV Wholesale Department and you spend $30 on some t-shirts that at $3.50. Shameless plug. Holler at your boy. You get those shirts done, and then you spend another $20 on getting some prints made, and then we press those shirts. You just turn that $50. You can sell those shirts for $30 a piece. So you can make that little $50 can turn into $200 real fast.
So you're basically saying it's like selling drugs.
I never said that.
Okay.
Nope, nope. I don't even know where you got that from.
You're saying the math is applicable.
I don't know. I don't know what you're talking about. We do have 7-ounce t-shirts. Just saying. I don't know.
You got quarter zips? I'm wearing a quarter zip right now.
Don't try. Don't trip. I mean, yeah, that part.
I'm trying to think if there's any more questions I have. Is there any questions you want me to ask you? I'm framing the questions in a way so you're not actually talking about the store, but it's like obviously you're
Yeah.
in the store.
Like how it all
Yeah,
came
it's
together.
like you want to sell people the end result, which is like you have your own brand successful, da, da,
Right,
da,
right.
and there's a store. They're gonna be naturally curious, like, oh, what da da da, you know. But I don't want to explicitly be like, oh yeah, come to Industrial Drive, get your blanks, da da, like,
Yeah, no,
because
of course.
that's all your other content.
Right.
So I want to center it around like this. That's why I asked the question of the individuals that come in here who do have successful brands.
Right.
Um, so let me ask something in that vein. Let me say, okay, so are there any examples of people that you know that have really like successful clothing brands and like or on the up and up and like what do you think makes them different or what stands out about them?
Yeah, there are some pretty popping brands that come through here. I think the consistency is what makes those brands kind of stick out. Um, just the hunger, honestly. Some of the people that created those brands, this is like what they do. Like, you know what I mean? Outside of, they take care of their families, they do all that, but like, I know some people that have stopped working and literally just focus on selling clothes and like making merch and have been successful, pay their bills and buying cars and doing all that stuff through selling clothes. It's a whole nother world. I don't know what else to tell you. Like you gotta get into it and do your research. Like the wholesaling, the whole aspect is a world that you just don't understand. But when you get into it, you kind of look at clothes differently. You might look at the stuff you see at the mall in a different light and how jackets are made and type of fabric this is and that is. Like it opens your eyes to so much more for real.
Um, damn, I had a good question.
You ain't lose it.
It was
It's there.
it's like how